Hey there, everyone. Michael here with the latest episode of Starbeam.one, Stand-Up and Shine and Shill. It's a little series I put together to keep you up to date with my project, Starbeam.one. This show is modeled after the agile methodology of a stand-up where you tell your teammates what you're working on, what you're going to be working on, and any sort of friction points that you are encountering. And I've added so much more. Let's begin. Wow, I got that done on the first take. I usually take like 15, 20, 25, 30, 40, 50 times. I got that done on the first one. All right, hey, how's everyone doing? This is like, I feel like I haven't seen everyone or have done this in quite some time now. It's been actually 5 weeks. Last month was a 5-week month. And so here we are 5 weeks later, and I got some news to talk about. There's actually several topics to talk about. But first, I have gotten accepted into the LEAP Fund Your Acceleration cohort, and I will put a link in the description here, and it sounds a little bit more impressive than it probably is, although it's still impressive. When you talk about cohort and accelerations and whatnot, it's usually a grant of money. In this case, it is, but it's for service providers, still very valuable. It's just a little bit more involved than a typical a grant or a typical cohort where, you get a certain grant and, that's sort of a big deal. This is still sort of a big deal, but with specific providers. It's paid through for the state from the state of Michigan, and so you get things like legal, marketing, financial planning, and all that sorts of things. But really, the most important part to me is that I'm getting connected finally in the state of Michigan. I've been here for almost 10 years now in October, and I'm finally just starting to branch out a little bit. It's sort of sad to say or admit that, but that's the nature of things, and it's kind of cool to actually get out of the house and visit Lansing for once and meet some people, so that's very cool. And I'm also already making connections online through the organization LEAP there, and so I'll put the link there in the description and check it out. And so I'm really excited about that. It's just sort of one of those things where, just the little baby steps to get connected here. And I'm feeling, and I'll mention this in the blog post I've been kind of writing all day, that I just feel it's just time to sort of start branching out and getting a little bit more help with what I'm building here, because it's almost 5 years now. Also something that's very difficult to believe, but that's going to be, kind of a focus here is to get a little bit more assistance around me to, help boost my success now. So there's that. And then the next item here is that we've got feature development. Finally, I'm finally developing features, and I'm no longer spending so much time on technical debt and bugs and whatnot. We'll still get the occasional bug. Coinbase looking at you in production, but it's not as much anymore these days. Might take half a day or whatnot, worst case. But for the most part, I'm developing features, and I'm going to put a link to several features that I've been filming. I'm doing daily updates on Twitter, on X right now, and I've actually been doing it for quite some time. And whenever I get a feature done, I record it and I post it, and it's been doing really well there. So I'll post a few of those in the comments. And so from there, kind of rounding this out with how I see things right now, I've got about a year's worth of runway left, and this is sort of why I'm branching out, because I'm starting to feel, there's something's got to give here in the next year, because I have about 18 months of development and only 12 months to do them in. And so actually it's a little less, but estimates are so difficult. Estimates are sort of like a challenge. Once you put the challenge out there, life decides to really kind of push back on you and prove you wrong. And that's been kind of the moral of the story for this project here, going on 5 years. I feel like I should have had this done in 6 weeks at times, but kind of rounding out these last 2 points. Version 1.2, which is what I'm working on right now, I was hoping to have it done by July. But honestly, it looks like, it's going through estimates. It looks like it's going to be around the start of September right now. And then version 1.3 is the revenue streams, or the features that are going to bring in revenue. Kind of backing up here, the publishing model is, I'm really just taking a hammer to this and just making it really what it should be. Basically, I've been looking at it now for, as I mentioned, 5 years, but really 2 years now, being open to the public and getting feedback and seeing how people want to use it. And I'm just taking a hammer to it, and I'm hoping to have this done by September. And then once that's done, I consider that the cart. Put the horse in front of that, and the horse is going to be the revenue streams, and so that's going to be 1.3. And so these are all the features that are going to help generate revenue. And so as I mentioned, I have one year runway left. And so if it's done in December, that only gives me 3 to 4 months, but I still have some options at that point. As long as we're starting to generate revenue around December, real revenue, then things will look a lot better for me. But still, the pressure is on and is super intense over here. But there you go. That starting out the program with program notes. Let's go to the next slide. All right, I'm actually feeling really productive. Overall, I'm feeling really good. It's just, it's starting the money thing, and I've been very fortunate for almost 5 years now, not have to worry about money, and now it's starting to become a thing. But fortunately, we have a marketplace for the most part that works. We can build on that and hopefully make something happen from that. Okay, so what did I do? I upgraded the solution to the latest Blazor. And I've done actually some really cool things too. I've been upgrading the solution, and again, it's not just with the business model that I've been paying attention to, but also technology over time. It's like, okay, that's why you do this, and that's why you do that. Still learning a lot here with technology. I don't claim to know any answers, but I'm still learning a lot. So I'm getting back to what I did here is Redis caching. So this is sort of like a big, you can think of it as this sits on top of the database, where after you pull data from the database, this puts that data in memory so that any number of servers that you may be hosting on can just get it from there. So sort of like Database Plus, if you look at it, sort of like a stored database memory, and it's shared across any number of servers that you have, which makes it scalable. And so that now we have that in place. And in addition, the cool part about this is it also operates with our API, which is now in there. And so we got API, we got caching, we got the latest Blazor. Everything's really cool, right? Like a lot. I just wish I had 18 more months of revenue instead of 12, sort of thing, right? It's kind of like my stress point at the moment. But anyways, still have really cool parts here. So we're running from an API. The API pulls from a database and then puts it into Redis, and it all works. It's all really awesome. And the very first thing I did here, moving on to the next point, is topics. So now we are moving to topics. And if you view the link that I'm going to post here in the description for the YouTube, I have this demonstrated in a Twitter post of topics. Just basically, you can consider these like containers for your products. And so these topics are sort of like ways of grouping your products together, and they all share the same qualities. So any products that you produce or publish in these topics or subtopics, they get copied into there. So you don't have to do as much work, and you basically just assign all the values once, and then you create the product, and then boom, everything gets copied to that product. And it's sort of like a templating feature, right? And so all that is in there now. We do have topics working, and now the next step for me is to, as I will mention in the next slide here, is move on to the subtopics. But we do have topics working, and it's using the API, and it's using Redis caching, and it's using the latest Blazor, and it's very cool. I'm very happy about that. And then moving on to this last point here, generators, right? So we're making it more clear when you create AI-based work, what generator you use. So we have now a catalog pulling from an API and being stored in Redis of all the generators that that have been identified. A good number, not all of them, and the ones our community uses for the most part. And so now we have generators. So when you create a topic, or we create a subtopic, or create a product, you will be able to specify, hey, this is an AI product, and it uses this generator sort of thing. So this is actually very convenient for topic. So you can imagine if I just have a topic and it has a bunch of products in it, I just have to set that generator once, and then anytime that I create a product in that topic, it copies that generator along with that. So there you go. And then that's actually a good segue for the next slide here. Okay, feeling it here. Yeah, overall, I'm actually feeling quite in the zone. With everything, it's just getting back to that runway and starting to feel that pressure there. But, my days are really going well, and I'll probably talk about this in effectiveness levels, but just getting like really acclimated to things and feeling like it, there's not a lot of friction. So I still feel like I have to knock on wood for that, just to bring in the good luck and that nothing really terrible happens along with that. Okay, so now what am I doing? So now we're talking about these different features. We're still working on version 1.2, and this is a new publishing model. It's basically publishing model version 2, and after getting topics done, now we're moving into subtopics. So you can think of these again, getting to product scopes or containers that carry different properties that gets passed down to whatever products are created in them. So subtopics are kind of like just another, sort of like folders. Folders in Windows, you've got your folders and you got subfolders. There's just one level of subtopics. Don't want to get too complicated there. So you have your topic, an overall general theme, and then you've got your subtopics, which may be like a categories of this particular themes, or subtopics of a particular theme. Just another like a subfolder in there, but it can only create one level. You can't go any further than that. So I just kind of want to make it simpler like that. Okay, that should be self-explanatory. But I want to move on to this other concept. So I started thinking, well, you got your topics and you got your subtopics. What if I just wanted to create one generator? I just wanted to assign a generator once. Like, I only use one generator and I just want to assign that once. I don't want to keep creating topics and put a new generator in each and every time I create a topic, right? So that's what this root scope is, the second point here that I'm going to be working on. For your sales profile, put a product container, like a root container scope at the root that stores all of your, preferred properties. And your preferred sales profile properties that then get passed down to your topics and subtopics. So you just have to set this once. So if you are an AI artist, you just set the generator once, and then anytime that you create this, you set it in your root, and then anytime you create a topic or a subtopic, you actually don't have to do anything. It's just already there. So that will be applied from the root scope. So that's kind of a cool feature that I will be working on here, hopefully this week. And then finally, I mentioned this last time, and this is all sort of reason why I'm doing all of this, is the publishing wizard. So I'm wanting to make this very simple to create a product and have a very clean wizard that just takes you step by step through the process and allows you to assign these properties. And so it makes it a very obvious and very clear what's happening. We don't have that right now. We do after you get a hang of it, but still there's a little bit of a learning curve right now with version 1, and that's deployed in production that I'm not happy with. So I'm wanting to fix that here with the publishing wizard, and that's going to be the big task. So that's what I'll be working on after getting the subtopics and root scope finished. All right, next slide. All right, so friction points with my favorite character in the world, Hide the Pain Harold. I am Harold, especially when it comes to bugs in Visual Studio bugs, because this is the never-ending story, right? We still have problems with build times and with error reporting, and the error reporting especially is very difficult because I haven't heard anything from that ticket after opening it, and I've been pinging, and that is not getting any sort of traction. It's very worrisome. So what happens here is when I encounter a problem with Visual Studio, which happens quite often, there is a reporting apparatus, which is awesome when it works. When it works, it is amazing. I can just sit there, something's wrong, boom, record it, and then it gets sent. Well, about 10 to 15, 20, 25, maybe even 33% of the time, I'm going to say a third, up to a third of the time it feels like at times, maybe even more, it breaks, or it doesn't send it in the proper way, or the file is corrupted when the Visual Studio team receives it, and it is most frustrating. It is beyond frustrating. It is, you think about it, I am reporting a problem, and now that problem has a problem. We're getting meta, and I'm sure Harold can appreciate that. I certainly do. And so this is one of those things where it's like you think you should be able to fix that or make that a priority before anything else, because you want to get the artifacts that are being passed to you attended to first, right? That should be like the priority one, and that does not appear to be happening. So it's a huge source of stress for me personally, because I really enjoy that feature and I want to use it in confidence, knowing that if I report something, the team over there gets that. So that's the error reporting. Now, secondly here, or thirdly, I've already discussed build times already, I believe. And so build times are the same thing. That's Razor. And that's a huge issue with I have discussed this before in previous episodes. I don't think I've really gotten to here. It's just, whenever I build a Blazor project, it's taking up to 40 seconds. And at one point it took 90 seconds to build. It's really annoying. This is the biggest problem right now with Razor. And so there's that. Okay, so Chrome debugging. This is kind of like a big issue, because this is a bug that was on the roadmap and was fixed. It was fixed, and everyone was happy. Everyone was joyous. It was working, or supposed to be working, supposedly fixed. And I waited, it felt like 2 months before this thing got deployed. And I tested it, and lo and behold, it wasn't fixed at all. And I don't know what happened. And so I had to open up a new bug. And this is a new bug now that is open for, I want to say 2 months again. And there hasn't been much traction on this. And I'm thinking, what just happened here, right? We had an issue that was put on the roadmap. It was claimed fixed. And then I waited 2 months for it to be deployed so that I can test it and use it. And I tested it. I didn't even get close to using it because it wasn't fixed. And now I have a new bug here that hasn't been updated in 2 months, and it is in limbo. So what happened, right? It's sort of like, I hope that's like, you can understand my frustration here. It's like, okay, now I've got a bug that's no longer on the roadmap. Technically it is, but it's not marked as such. And did I just get swept under the rug sort of thing? You know, it's like, what's going on? It's very frustrating. You would think that if something got reported 2 months ago, it would be a priority, number one priority. I can tell you, for me, if I told someone that I fixed something and someone said, no, you didn't fix it, that would be number one top priority, no brainer sort of thing. So anyways, moving along here, those are the outstanding issues, but that's it for now. Effectiveness levels. This is where I like to talk about feelings of the project, and I like to say that if the world talked about its feelings, the world would be a better place. And so these are emotional qualities, different emotional qualities of the product, and how I feel about them. Now, morale. It's sort of funny because this was at 8 and I dropped it down to a 7. But after just talking about it here, for 5 weeks, I haven't seen anyone here in 5 weeks, and I'm actually pretty jazzed about this. Now I feel like I should have upped it a little bit to 8.5. But morale overall, it's okay. It actually is pretty good. I was just kind of, still, it's like nothing beats the money problem, right? It's just like such a blessing when you don't have to worry about money. But now, even though it's still a year, right? That's, I keep telling myself, you still have a year, which is a long time. Just keep focused on that. But still, it's sort of like, watching that, right? It's just like, just don't let the pressure get to you, even though there shouldn't be any pressure for an entire year. A year is a long time until it's not, so I just keep trying to keep focused on that. And so morale is at a 7 right now. Schedule, kind of the same thing, right? Time, I feel okay about it now, but it just seems, it's very rare with the almost 5 years now that I've been on this, that schedule has actually turned out as expected. It's always something that pops up or something's wrong. Although I have been really good with feature development, I just really hope that continues. And if it does, then there will be no problem, but I'm skeptical, let's just say. So I've dropped this back to a 6 at the moment. Technology, these open issues with Visual Studio. Come on, guys. Dropped from 8.5 to 7.5. Marketing, I don't even know if I should do this slide because I'm really not doing this right now. I'm still taking notes and everything, but there's no really active, I mentioned this in the blog post. I'm just not really, I'm happy with the product as what I've built, but I'm just not happy with the model around it, which is basically an NFT model, NFT marketplace model. That's not something I have a lot of joy in promoting, right? Like, I have joy in promoting it with friends and whatnot, friends and family, but I just, to strangers, right? Like, I just don't have that confidence of just going out to a stranger and saying, hey, try this out, sort of thing. But hopefully once these features are in place that I am working on, that will be more of a thing. So I don't know if I'm going to do marketing as a slide from now on, but or until I start it up again. But for now it's a 6.5. Support, I remain very happy with that whenever that occurs. No problems there. Yes. All right. 5 weeks later, here I am, and here I go. It's a four week month, so I will see you in 4 weeks. And I do like this once a month right now, especially when there's really not a lot to market. So I probably should have done this sooner, but here we are, once a month and 20 minutes, it looks like. And, I do want to really show my appreciation for everyone out there that is helping out. And, we've got a Twitter group right now. There's just activity every day. And Twitter, I'm very active on there. I do a post once a day. I do a morning update. It's really good discipline, I feel. It's one of the best things I do, really. And I encourage you, if you are a business owner or, have a product, just do an update first thing every morning, and your life will be better for it. I feel mine is. It's something to really ingrain into your discipline. Okay, so I've got that going, and I just want to thank everyone out there for for all your support. Even though it's a little slim right now and slow, it's just really nice to kind of wade through this. Hopefully not too much longer, 3 months, maybe 4. September looks like the dates or the month to get through this. So thank you for your support, and until next time, stay safe and stay bright out there. Goodbye.